Hello, Gemini. How are you today? I'm so happy that you are here with me on my channel, Tasty Tarot. I hope you are well. I hope you're awesome. We're going to be looking at your energies, general energies, moving into January of 2026. Now, tarot can be quite fluid, so it is quite possible that this message could resonate regardless of whenever it finds you. Now, I do encourage you to check out your other major placements. So we're talking Sun, Moon, Rising. Some people say Venus. Sometimes when you look into these positions, your personal chart, there will be aspects, keys that will unlock more details to your personal story. So let's see what we have here. Now, we do have Mercury will be moving into Capricorn come January 1st. So that's going to lend us an energy of goal setting, long-sightedness, planning, time management, all that good stuff. So really, it's actually a great energy to be kicking off the new year if you're into resolutions and having that long view of where it is you want to go throughout the course of the coming year. We also have Venus moving into Aquarius come January 17th. And so that will be an energy of, more thinking outside of the box, unconventional approaches to love and money. So that could be interesting. And then we have Mars, hot on Venus's tail, typical, moving into Venus, or moving into Aquarius. Yeah. Come January 23rd. And then come January 26th, Neptune will finally be transitioning into the sign of Aries. And it will stay there until May of 2038. So it'll be really interesting to see how these shifts impact our realities, our society. It could shake things up just a little bit. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. So Gemini, you're kicking off your reading with the King of Cups. Look at him sitting there, all secure in his feelings. So Gemini, you're feeling in tune. You're in tune with your emotions. You're feeling like you have the ability right now to really feel everything that is coming across your emotional radar. Like, it's not intimidating you in any way. It's very comfortable. And even if the emotion you experience is not comfortable, you're coming from a place of security. You're emotionally secure. You're in a good place. That's great. So some of you may be trying to make contact with people from the past, and it might not be yielding some of the results that you've been hoping for. Sometimes people are just really busy, especially this time of year, and they just haven't really been available as much as you were hoping to, catch up again, do a little chit chat, go out for a cup of coffee, whatever it may be. But the good thing about the energies that show up in the resistance position is these are energies that are eventually going to move into the uprights, meaning they will be able to express clearly and fully soon. It's just giving you a little bit of resistance at the moment. Three of Cups. So you are socializing regardless. You're still finding people to connect with. That's great. It's a great time of year to be doing that. So this could be you attending parties, staying social, meeting that friends, and doing the things that you love doing. And so you have a lot of cup energy going on here right now. Definitely embracing the full spectrum of feeling in the human experience. So, some of the people in your circle, you might be experiencing just like a little bit of disappointment at this time. Yeah, and this, like I said, this could just be because people are so busy right now. So I see you being social, and at this time you might be kind of sacrificing some of the energy you would normally be putting into your fabulous analytical skills. Some of you may have jobs where you have to rely heavily on your mental acumen, your ability to plan, to strategize. Have the excuse me, problem in my throat. Unfortunately, I think I'm getting sick. It happens. Some of you may have children or work with young people, and that as beautiful of an experience as it always is, being involved with children, it does offer challenges. Kids can act out, and they have minds of their own. They're supposed to. It's part of the point. They're not really children. They're adults in training, and so they are meant to test their boundaries, and they are searching for themselves. And you might be struggling a little bit with the strategy in which you are using to try and find common ground with the littles in your life. Maybe the thing that you had done before that always worked suddenly doesn't work anymore. Maybe it was that incentive of a treat for good behavior, or a toy, or an outing, depending on the age of the child. If you are indeed, if you do indeed have children in your energy field, yeah, your strategy maybe isn't working the way it used to. And so you're kind of having to reinvent just a bit how you're doing that. And so in your outcome energy, we do have the Six of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Eight of Wands. So you are moving into a place where you should expect some quick development, some fast movement. There might be some new communications coming in. So, going back to trying to reach out to people from your past, if that's how these energies are showing up for you. There's any number of storylines that can be showing up in these cards right here. Um, so it could be with that Eight of Wands. You've been trying to get a hold of somebody and that just hasn't been happening. There's always something going on. Or maybe there's like an all out resistance. Maybe you have some old beef with somebody that you're trying to heal and they're just not ready to go there yet. Or, vice versa. Tarot is fluid. It could go either way. So apply as you see fit. I say this because the Five of Swords energy. This is kind of an energy of winning at all costs, and sometimes victory comes at a high price. So just be really mindful as you move forward, Gemini, about keeping things in perspective on what is worth that. Don't please don't resort to any kind of manipulation. You're better than that. And if it's somebody else that you're dealing with and you feel like they're trying to manipulate you or the situation, be on the lookout for that. Be willing to call it out as you see it. Because the thing about a person who manipulates, that's the last thing that they want. The moment that you call it out and say, hey, I see what you're doing, it gets very uncomfortable for the other person. And sometimes that jolt is enough to shift them into a different mindset. And, children, bless their hearts. This is a child showing up for you that's trying to manipulate you somehow. It presents an opportunity for a valuable life lesson about how we treat others. So you do have the Six of Pentacles in that outcome energy. And I like seeing that there. This is reciprocity. This is giving and receiving in a healthy way. And so I feel like you're moving through these challenges that are presenting. You're moving through into a place where you're going to be able to have some wide open communication. It's going to bust wide open. Something's going to trigger this to where you're going to have a heart to heart and you're going to nail it because you have the King of Cups place. So this is all about emotional maturity. So some of you might be dealing with someone who is maybe not totally emotionally mature. I know a lot of adults that, fill that description. But, whatever this is something you're going to be able to deal with from a really strong position. You'll be the right amount of authoritative. You'll have the right amount of compassion. You'll be open and receptive. You'll have your listening ears on. I just heard that. Anybody out there tell their kids you better have your listening ears on? So I don't feel like this is some huge hiccup. This is just little bumps in the road. I feel like this is the standard life, adulting, maybe parenting, you know, showing up in a loving way for the people you know and care about. Really being that guide. He is the King of Cups. You know, he is never ruled by his emotions, but he acknowledges them and feels them and understands his own motivations and the motivations of others. He understands this very deeply. It's a very intuitive place to work from. And you have that in your protagonist energy. So yeah, whatever this is, you'll be able to handle it just fine. No problem. So some of you might be kind of taking a time out. You know, we made it past the Christmas season. If you celebrate Christmas, Yule for others, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that good stuff. Everybody who wants to celebrate. We've made it through all that busyness. Well, not all of it. We have New Year's coming. But I always feel like the time leading up to New Year's is just a little bit more chaotic and what's the word I'm looking for? Just more expectations we put on ourselves, responsibilities, all that. And so maybe now that that's like over, you're kind of you're taking just a little bit of a rest to 4 cups in your protagonist energy is saying, you know, you're taking time out to breathe. You don't feel the need to act quickly. You don't have to descend upon this situation exactly. You're kind of biding your time. And I just got an energy of like, okay, somebody might be being a little shithead, excuse French, and you're sitting back and you're saying, all right, I'm going to let you continue to dig this hole for yourself so that you can really learn this lesson. And I'm just going to chill out over here and wait for the right time. Okay? You do it, Gemini. You do it. So right now I am trying to pull a card out of the Enchanted Astrologer deck. And so what this card is meant to do is it's meant to highlight an area of your personal astrology. You'll be referring to your natal charts and looking at a specific area. And it may hold more keys for you, a place to follow through, follow up, a little jolt of inspiration, perhaps. Mars is the planet of action, passion, determination. It can be aggressive sometimes. And so I feel like this is something saying, you know, address those energies. It could be in yourself. It might be in someone in your energy field that you are dealing with. And say, okay, we need to look at how it is you express anger or how it is you go about trying to achieve something. Because, you know, we do have that 5 of Swords here. Whenever I see that, I always think, you know, somebody's trying to manipulate somebody. And so, this could be a little hint, Mars energy. You can look at your own chart and look at how your Mars is expressing, where, what sign is your Mars in. Um, are there any interesting aspects made to your natal Mars? You can also look at the house of Aries. Whatever house of yours is ruled by the sign of Aries, there may be some more clues for you there. Yeah. Okay. We also have transiting Mars. That might be another thing to look at. We covered earlier that Mars is going to be moving into Aquarius. Remember, it was chasing Venus there. It was moving into Venus, remember? Right. So Mars is going to be transiting through Aquarius. So take a look at where Aquarius is in your chart as well. There's any number of ways this can show up for you. And you won't know if there's any meaning behind it until you give it a look. But I do wish you luck with what's going on here. I do feel like you're exchanging energy with someone who can be challenging sometimes. And I don't feel like it's, truly malicious in any way. It's just someone who is trying to better understand their own emotions, their own motives, and the way in which they go about achieving their goals. So let's see if we can get an oracle card for you. This is an oracle card from the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck. So please, if I could have a message for my dear, lovely, genuine Gemini. What do they need to know now and moving into January and the new year? What messages can they take, or what messages can be reinforced from this reading? Thank you. We have simplicity on the bottom of the deck. I heard keep it simple. Maybe that means something to someone out there. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Purity. So I feel like you're going to be working from this place of purity. You have some really great energy. I'm really proud of you. You're very solid in where you're coming from, Gemini. Very balanced, and that's the goal. That's what you're moving towards. Is you're looking to achieve a balance between yourself and the people in your life, and you want it to be fair for everybody. You want everyone to learn and grow from this situation. And so your motives are very pure. And this might be a discussion too, if you are in the position of being a mentor to another individual, this could be part of the lesson that is shaping here that I'm seeing. Is this is a lesson in purity. People who are pure of intent. Purity, what is purity? To me, purity is love. Never wanting to cause harm to another, even in the slightest bit. It's about having the best of intentions and recognizing too that sometimes the things we want are not always in our own best interest. And so this might be a lesson that is shaping here, a lesson in purity. I heard altruism as well. Let's go ahead and read from the book what the author has to say about purity. First snow. Before the first snow, the earth is dark and cold. Fallen trees from autumn storms lay haphazardly atop the decaying leaves that cover the forest floor. However, when the first snow arrives, the darkness and decomposing soil are replaced by a purity that is light and bright. In the sunshine, the individual snowflakes atop the snowdrifts sparkle with crystalline light. Harsh sounds are muffled. Sharp corners and rugged edges are muted. Everything feels fresh and new. Debris seemingly disappears beneath the pristine white landscape. Softly falling snow illuminates the environment in a diffusion of swirling forms. At night, in the light of the moon, the first snow is glowing and serenely silent, turning everything into an enchanted fairy tale realm. In some mystical traditions, descending snow symbolizes the transmission of knowledge from a higher plane, the heavens, to the lower planes, the earth, thus bringing purity to the earth. I also heard just now in that example of descending snow symbolizing the transmission of knowledge. It also made me think of how parents or mentors, part of what we're supposed to do is to transfer our knowledge. The sacred landscape wants you to know, no matter what's happened in the past, everything can be fresh and new again. There's that Six of Cups energy coming in. No matter what happened in the past, everything can be fresh and new. There can be reconciliation. That's me. The purity of your soul is shining through everything that you encounter. You are entering into a period of grace. Simply open your heart and know that the best is yet to be. The past does not need to equal the future. Your future can be and will be shimmering, sparkling, and bright. Old, limiting patterns are dropping away. Recurring challenges are releasing. This is a time of redemption, forgiveness, and holy healing. That's very nice. All right, Gemini. I enjoyed very much reading for you. Thank you for letting me dabble in your energy. Again, you're coming from a really strong place. Very solid. Very mature. It's really beautiful. So whatever this is, whether it's being a mentor to a younger generation or reconciliation with friends or family, whatever this is for you, I want you to know, your guides want you to know that you have this under control. All right, Gemini, that's all I have for you this time. I hope you will join me again for your next reading. If you found any value in these messages, then please consider giving it a thumbs up. That will help to spread this message to others who may need to hear it. Plus, I greatly appreciate the support. Again, thank you for letting me read for you. I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button and becoming part of the Tasty Tribe. I would love to have you. So, until next time, go get 'em.